Good afternoon. My name is Jiaze, and today I am from Leuven Green Institute, Department of Neuroscience, Neuropsychiatry, K11. And today I'm going to give a brief introduction of my work about the neuromanifest underlying recognition memory deficits in the carriers of C9orf72 repeat expansions at the premanifest stage. So C9 is the most common genetic causes of both amyotrophic lateral sclerosis and frontotemporal dementia. Memory deficit is one of the most common symptoms in both of these diseases. And the impairment has also been documented in the C9 carriers up to 15 years prior to the estimate symptom onset. However, it's unknown whether the impairment is domain general or social memory specific. So what is also unknown is the underlying mechanism, neuromechanism. It could arise from the neurodeficits of impaired social emotional processing. It could also be a result of the decreased retrieval activation itself. At the same time, it is proposed that the neural function is the neural strength is a function of the similarity between encoding and the retrieval. So the impairment in C9 carriers could be a consequence of decreased neural similarity between encoding and the retrieval. However, at the same time, neurodegenerative disease, especially at the pre-symptomatic stage, often exhibit adaptations compensating for the neural deficit. So the C9 carriers memory impairment could also exhibit neural increased compensatory effect. So we examine this hypothesis by including C9 carriers at the pre-manifest stage and the controls, performed experiment study. The experiment include encoding phase and the recognition phase. During the encoding phase, the participants were instructed or presented and the stimuli of angry phase, neutral phase, and house, and they instructed to memorize these pictures. And during the recognition phase, after each stimulus was presented, a question displayed was this picture presented in the encoding phase. The carriers, all the participants were instructed to reply the question by choosing one out of 4 choices. Definitely yes, probably yes or not, and definitely not. By comparing their response, we found that C9 carriers house memory were comparable to the controls, but their face memory was significantly decreased. This result remains significant even when contrasting their face memory from house memory. So we next examine what's the neuromechanism underlying this face memory deficit. We performed the Roy-based and Voxel-based univariate analysis, and the Roy-based support vector machine and searchlight the SVM analysis. Before that, we predefined 3 networks: face processing network, memory processing network, and the salience network for the Roy analysis. What we found is that the C9 carriers has a distinct neural pattern for the face versus house processing in the bilateral anterior insula and the supplementary motor cortex, indicating a neural deficit during the encoding phase. However, C9 carriers also exhibit increased activation during the retrieval for the encoded phase versus the distractors, indicating their hyperfunction during the retrieval process. Next, we examine their encoding retrieval similarity for three categories according to their behavioral response. And we found that the C9 carriers represent a decreased similarity for the definitely remembered stimuli in the CNS network, especially at the left anterior insula. The result was not significant for the probably and not stimuli. And second, we performed the analysis for the face and the house stimuli, regardless of the participants' response. And we found that there is a decreased similarity for the face, but not for the house stimuli in the left amygdala from face processing network and the memory network. So from all these studies, we can conclude that the memory deficits in the C9 carriers were social-emotional specific, but not domain general. And the underlying neuromechanism of this impairment includes the impaired social-emotional perception in the anterior insula and the encoding retrieval similarity in all three networks we predefined. At the same time, compensatory coexist with the neural deficits during encoding and the similarity. And the encoding retrieval similarity. So that's the basic, the mainly result of this study. Thank you for your attention.